Mysterious remains discovered after millennia buried. Astonishing find in China leaves scientists stunned. Welcome to the mysterious universe. Dear friend, many ancient skeletal remains discovered around the world have revealed evidence of an afterlife following human death. For example, the ancient Egyptians were renowned for their elaborate funeral rites and their profound belief in the afterlife. The remains and accompanying burial artifacts have revealed their spiritual symbols and beliefs about the afterlife. In China, the unearthed sets of human remains have exposed the heartbreaking reality of ancient civilizations and bygone feudal dynasties. Join Mysterious Universe as we explore the most enigmatic marine fossils ever discovered in China in today's special video. Archaeologists have just discovered 97 sets of remains in a small house dating back 5,000 years in an ancient village in northeastern China. There is substantial evidence that the remains of both adults and children from prehistoric times were piled up in that house before being burned down. The archaeological site where the house named Manga was discovered dates back to a time before writing appeared in the region. At that time, people often lived in small settlements, surviving by combining farming with hunting. In addition to the aforementioned skeletons, scientists also discovered numerous fragments of ancient pottery, crushed charcoal, along with arrowheads and spearheads. These artifacts have provided valuable insights into the lives of ancient people. The Manga site is considered the largest and most well-preserved prehistoric settlement in northeast China. During the excavation period from April to November 2011, researchers uncovered the foundations of 29 ancient houses. Mostly, these were simple one-room houses, with just one entrance door and a cooking stove. The house, named F40, has a modest area of just 20 square meters. The archaeologists reported that upon entering, they discovered countless skeletal remains scattered haphazardly inside. The set of tables and chairs is placed in the corner of the living room in the quite well-furnished house. The skeletons in the eastern corner often only have the skulls remaining, while the limb bones are almost never preserved intact. In the southern corner, leg and arm bones were stacked in 2 to 3 layers, piled haphazardly alongside strips of flayed skin. At one point, the entire house burned to the ground. The raging flames caused part of the roof and several wooden beams to collapse. Some skull and limb bones in the house were burned and deformed due to this. But the remaining bones were not burned and remained intact after 5,000 years. So far, scientists have had the opportunity to study them. So what ultimately became of these sets of remains? An anthropology team at Jilin University in China is studying ancient skeletons and attempting to determine the cause of death of these individuals. This week, the team published a preliminary report of their research findings in Jilin University's weekly journal. Accordingly, they noticed that the people inside appeared to have died in a disaster from ancient times. It seems that due to the pandemic, their knowledge has become overlapping. It seems the number of deaths was too great, and the victims perished too quickly, far exceeding the survivors' capacity to bury them. Archaeologists discovered that half of the remains belonged to individuals aged between 15 and 35. There are no bones of older adults. The age of the victims here corresponds to those found in several mass burial sites from different eras. Once discovered in the Miaojigo area, located in what is now northeastern China. This similarity suggests that the cause of the disasters in Shiqi, Hemin, and Banga is likely similar to those that occurred in Miaojigo. Perhaps it was all connected to a dangerous epidemic that occurred at that time. Beauty crowned in ancient Chinese tomb. A group of stone quarry workers accidentally discovered a red-colored stone while working at the foot of Turkey Mountain. The city of Tongliao belongs to China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. From here, archaeologists discovered an ancient tomb containing the remains of a woman wearing a crown. According to experts, the tomb containing this woman's remains has been identified as dating back to the Liao dynasty, approximately between the years 905 and 1125. The ancient tomb is approximately 30 meters long and lies more than 10 meters below the ground. The tomb's exterior resembles a small house built of stone. Inside the tomb was a coffin measuring 1.5 meters in height, 2.6 meters in width, and 20 centimeters in depth. The woman's remains were found nearly intact in the coffin, having gone undetected by grave robbers for over a millennium. Through research, experts determined that this individual passed away at the age of approximately 30 to 35. Ruins along with on-site damages and discovered artifacts. Experts believe this person was likely of royal lineage. The coffin is crafted from cedar wood, with an exquisitely carved phoenix design on its surface, featuring sharp and clear lines. When the coffin lid was opened, archaeologists discovered a mummy lying on the back of a horse. On the head rests a golden crown, lying atop a faded metal bed. The body was completely covered with a large silk cloth. Since no artifacts related to the original owner of the tomb were discovered. Here are the 3 English translation options corresponding to the Vietnamese versions. Some experts believe that the owner of this ancient tomb may have been the daughter of Empress Luc Bin, the wife of Emperor Taizong of Liao, the first emperor of the Khitan-led Liao dynasty. The DNA test results conducted by experts have caused a major surprise among scholars. After combining DNA obtained from the tombs of the royal lineage of Taitu, all studies confirm the compatible relationship between the factors. Accordingly, the identity of the woman wearing the crown in the seashell is actually Princess Dulu Du Ko, the younger sister of this king. The headless skeleton in a kneeling position was discovered in an ancient tomb dating back over 300 years. Archaeologists have unearthed a set of remains from a sacrificial pit at the Chai Duang archaeological site in Henan province. This pit toilet dates back to the Shang dynasty, around 1600 to 1046 BCE. The notable detail is that the skeletal remains were found in a kneeling position facing north, with the head severed and the arms crossed over the chest. The skeleton remains largely intact, positioned in a posture resembling the character Qin in Oracle bone script. Oracle bone script is the ancient writing system of China, inscribed on turtle shells and animal bones. This is the primitive form of Chinese script and also the oldest complete ancient writing system still preserved in this country. According to studies of oracle bone inscriptions unearthed at the Yingshu site, sacrificial rituals were a distinctive and widespread cultural practice during the Shang dynasty. The Nhu Shi, Tan, and Kan hieroglyphs were used to depict sacrificial animals in various rituals. In the passage, Kan describes the ritual of sacrificing humans or livestock such as cattle and poultry in burial pits. The remains of the sacrificial victims found so far are mostly in a lying position. However, based on information from oracle bone inscriptions, experts conclude that the Gan sacrificial ritual was likely the more prevalent practice during that period. In a dream of the Ming dynasty, the seashell suddenly turned black. In March 2017, workers were constructing a sewer system at a construction site in Taikang District, Henan Province, China. While digging the ground with an excavator, I accidentally discovered an ancient tomb. Upon receiving the report, archaeologists quickly arrived at the scene to survey and confirmed that this was an ancient tomb dating back to the Ming dynasty. The tomb was severely damaged by the excavator. Even the 2 coffins in the tomb were shifted outward. When the coffin lid was opened, the experts were astonished to see the body perfectly preserved, looking as if the person had just passed away. However, just moments later, the 2 bodies suddenly turned black, leaving the experts utterly astonished and deeply perplexed. From here, archaeologists excavated the artifacts and brought them to the surface to determine the identity of the tomb's owner. After thorough research, scientists have identified the tomb's owner as Ko Fak, a local resident. During his lifetime, Ko Fak once served as the right censor-in-chief under the Ming dynasty. According to the cultural historical records of Taikang District, Ko Fak was documented as a merchant active during the reign of Emperor Minda. He was an upright and incorruptible official, beloved by the people and revered as the Bao Qingtian of the Ming dynasty. The relics of the Buddha are preserved in China. These cremated remains are believed to belong to Shakyamuni Buddha, also referred to as Shakyamuni relics. They were discovered in a porcelain chest in Jingchuan County, Gansu Province, China, alongside over 260 other Buddhist artifacts. The porcelain chest is inscribed with the names of the 2 monks, Van Quang and Chap Min. The Phap Hua Association at the Manjushri Bodhisattva Shrine of Langhung Pagoda in Kim Chau has collected over 2,000 sacred relics. Like the teeth and bones of the holy relic, they were enshrined in the temple on June 26, 2013. In the area where the bone container and letters were discovered, the archaeology team also found traces of an architectural structure, likely a worship chamber. According to the inscription, the monks Van Quang and Chap Min spent over 20 years collecting the relics of the Holy One. The inscriptions were carved to spread Buddhism, and they also sought to collect temple taxes. To achieve this goal, the two monks diligently followed the Buddha's teachings for over 20 years. They obtained the communal house through gifts from others, by chance findings, or by purchasing it from elsewhere. The inscription does not mention the 260 Buddha statues buried near the two sets of remains. Accordingly, archaeologists are uncertain whether the statues were buried at the same time as the two sets of cremated remains. Accordingly, they have yet to determine whether these two sets of remains truly belong to Duk Vat, the one who passed away 2,500 years ago. However, many archaeologists in China had previously discovered two sets of inscribed skeletal remains, confirming them to be the relics of Duk Vat. Includes a votive box found in a golden pagoda in Nanning. These statues, standing up to 2 meters tall, were carved around the end of the Northern Gai period. From 386 to 534 and then from 960 to 1279. During that period, the Qin Pass served as the main transportation gateway at the eastern end of the Silk Road. The statues depict images of the Buddha, the Bodhisattvas, the Arhats, and other deities. Some statues depict only the head, while others are life-sized. Many statues also feature carvings of animals standing on high pedestals. 300-year-old skeleton seal set in China. Recently, Chinese archaeologists discovered 3 bodies in the Shenzhen area of Hunan province in central China. Among the 3 bodies found, one was preserved in astonishingly intact condition. Hoai stated that the man's body was determined to be around 300 years old and was assessed to possess a perfect physique. The man was dressed in an official robe, indicating that he was a high-ranking mandarin during the Qing dynasty. The period from 1644 to 1912. A unique feature of this folding color is when the coffin lid is opened. The clothes' surface color almost returned to normal, but it took a few more hours to fully stabilize. The skin gradually darkened, accompanied by a strong, foul odor emanating from the body. Then, the skin on the body gradually turned black. Archaeologist Dr. Lucas Nico stated that ancient people practiced mummification to preserve the remains of the deceased. By placing it in a large and sturdy coffin. Not only that, the coffin was meticulously polished, and on top of the brocade paint, an additional layer of charcoal was applied. Perhaps it is precisely because of this that the body avoids bacterial invasion. In 2011, scientists studied a nearly intact pangolin scale. This fossil was discovered in Sangtu Province, China. Archaeologists found the folded fabric buried 2 meters below the road surface, a surprisingly deep location. But it was exceptionally well preserved, completely intact from head to toe with no signs of damage. According to Chinese researchers, the person wearing this brocade garment was identified as a woman approximately 1.5 meters tall. Buried during the Ming Dynasty, around the years 1368 to 1644. According to initial estimates, this brocade set dates back nearly 700 years and belonged to the nobility. Currently, Chinese archaeologists are continuing in-depth research on this mysterious folding silk. To gain a deeper understanding of the Qing dynasty's embalming burial rituals. Dear friends, with that, the mystery of the 300-year-old whale bones above has concluded our exploration journey for today. Among the seashells mentioned above, which one impresses you the most? Don't miss out on other exciting things. Stay tuned for more. For now, goodbye and see you all soon.